Hey there, Hammer fam. Welcome back to HammeredHead. Today we're looking at the Mandalorian and Grogu from the Mandalorian and Grogu. It's from the new vintage collection wave for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Pretty good wave. We got a bunch of winners. We got the main characters. You know they're the main characters because their name is the name of the movie. We got some cool Imperial folks and stuff. That Super Battle Droid came out a little later. So pretty good support for that movie so far, I think. I hope they keep it coming. But yeah, looking at the card back, it's pretty good. It's a little dark, I think. Might have been able to get a better image. The whole movie is about these two guys, and I don't really think this is the best shot from the movie they could have used. But it's okay, I guess. Grogu's really cute. The blue name pill in background is pretty good. Looks like we get a boatload of accessories, which is pretty sweet, and we get this deluxe sticker instead of the bigger card back. So really happy to see them moving away from that. This is a nice nice option, and it does peel off, I think. Yep. So if you are a carded collector but you don't want the big ass deluxe sticker there, you can just take it off and then have a regular card back. Oh well, I guess not totally regular because it's got this thing on the back here printed on, but that's okay. You know, from the front you can't tell. VC395, The Mandalorian and Grogu. The Mandalorian and his young apprentice Grogu embark on a thrilling adventure as they travel the galaxy. Hooray! And here they are. Really cool pose there. Yeah, I really like this movie. I thought it was a ton of fun. I think it's just what we needed, and I'm excited to see that movie's iteration of these figures. Let's check them out. Yeah, here he is all out of the box. This is probably one of the cooler Mandalorian figures we've gotten, I'd say. I think he's very, very high quality, and definitely, you know, the most modern one we've seen so far. But there's some fun stuff with this guy. So first of all, obviously all the accessories, which we'll look at later. I'll just get those out of the way for now. But he holds them decently. I like the armor. It's really, like, I think they got the shine very, very good on that Beskar. So the paint apps are really great there. Helmet itself is pretty simple, just like in the movie. Then the jetpack, you can really see the shine there. That looks awesome. Really cool. I wish they had done what they did with that Moff Gideon figure and put a hole in the cape for the jetpack to go in, but they didn't. So you got to push the cape off to the side a bit to get it on. But the good news is that the hole has a very firm grip on the peg here, so it doesn't like slide around and stuff and fall off like a lot of these jetpacks do. So that's good. I'm happy with that. And then as you can see, Grogu just kind of slides on the back there, which is really cool. So that's a blessing and a curse. It looks really awesome. I love having Grogu just like riding on the jetpack there. That looks really sweet. But if you didn't want to have him on the jetpack, you got to pull him off, and then they got this giant peg sticking out the side of the jetpack, and then a hole in Grogu, which looks really goofy. He also doesn't have any articulation in his legs or anything. Do his arms even move? His arms look like they're articulated, but they are not. They're not moving, so I don't want to break it. Maybe mine are just too stiff or something, but oh, his head rotates. All right, a little bit, just a bit. Yeah, so Grogu at this point is really more of an accessory than a figure, but that's okay. He kind of always has been. But yeah, like I said, it's a bit of a drawback when you can really only have this figure with Grogu on the jetpack. But that's okay. I think we have so many different other Mandalorian figures. I'm definitely going to display this one with Grogu on anyway, because it looks really good, and it's sort of a unique look for him. But yeah, anyway, moving on. The bandolier is pretty sweet. It's not fully attached, which is nice. You can see it loops over his shoulder here, and you just stick the jetpack right in there. Soft goods cape is really good. Again, I just wish there was a hole for the jetpack there. Not a huge deal because it still looks good when you slide it over. And then he's just got some great painting all the way around. They didn't phone it in and just put silver everywhere. There is a lot of variation, different colors and stuff on the different pieces of armor and his outfit. So that looks really, really good. And as usual, he's got the little blue triangles on his hands. yeah, just overall a great looking Mandalorian figure. I think they did a good job with this dude, especially when you got the jetpack and Grogu on there too. Really good look. Now we can check out all these accessories, and they are pretty fun all around, I'd say. We already looked at the jetpack. Again, I just really like the shine on that, and then the Grogu that attaches looks really nice. So good job on this thing. I like that a lot, even though it looks goofy with Grogu off. Then we get a couple melee weapons. He's got the sword, which pretty basic sculpt. Looks more like a fantasy sword than a Star Wars sword, but that's what it's supposed to look like, so it's cool. And the handle is painted a little bit, which is nice. Then we have this dagger thing, which is not painted. It's just a plain piece of plastic, but this one looks a little more sci-fi, Star Wars-y. Fun sculpt, I guess. Kind of basic, though. Then we have the pistol. Blaster pistol. The handle is painted, which is cool. And then it goes right in the holster there. It's a little loose, but it's not terrible or anything. And then he can grab it in this hand very well too. Fits right in there. Now we get into the swappable parts. So we get this really cool looking blaster rifle, which is painted a few different colors. This looks awesome. I love the gold there. The buttstock has some sculpting and paintwork in it too. This little power cell mag thing. So this looks awesome. To be honest, this would look good in a Jabba display like this. This might hang up in the sail barge really nicely. I like that. But yeah, that's really cool. But you'll see that the handle is pretty far from the trigger compared to the pistol. So what they did is you get a swappable hand here with the trigger finger further out. So we can swap the hands out. Just pull it out like that. Put the other one on here. Okay. And then plop that in. He's having a little trouble grabbing it. But yeah. Is that even right? I don't know if I did that right. However you do it, that's what it ends up looking like. Something like that. Yeah, it's a little sloppy. I kind of wish they had just made it holdable with either hand. But the blaster, the rifle itself looks really cool. And I do also wish maybe they could have just included some way to sling this on his shoulder, on his back. You get a lot of cool accessories, but there's no sheath for the knife, and there's nowhere to really clip the rifle onto. So it's just not able to really carry everything, which is unfortunate, but that's okay because you get a lot of different options of how you're going to display this guy. And being the most recent Mandalorian figure, his articulation is all up to date. Obviously, we got a nice ball joint head. We got some nice shoulders that go about 90 there. So the shoulder armor bends right out of the way, which is nice. Elbows go past 90. Hinge in the wrist, and there's actually a hinge in the detachable wrist as well, if you were curious. Ball waist, which moves decently well. This thing, again, is not attached, so it just kind of stays put while he moves, which looks a little goofy, but when he's stationary, it's fine. We got barbell hips. We got a cut in the thigh. Knees go well past 90, and then rocker ankles. So this guy's going to get into all those cool kung fu poses you need him to. Alright, so that's it for the Mandalorian and Grogu from the Mandalorian and Grogu from the Vintage Collection. Big fan of this figure, love all the accessories he came with. Again, I just wish that there was a way that he could hold more of them on his body rather than having to put them in storage, because I think it would be cool if he had like a knife sheath or something. But other than that, he looks really good, like the Grogu attachment. Very, very fun. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you to my Patreon subscribers. Be sure to follow on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Check out the Patreon page, and don't forget, stay hammered.